Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards on a Tuesday. In just moments, we're going to talk to Luca Belluz of the Mississauga Steelheads, property of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And for those of you getting up early, there are no early World Cup games today. I know what you're saying. Well, what do you mean? Like no Ghana, no Cameroon, Iran, or is it Iran? Now you have to say things like you're from there. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. I went to Stouffville High School. What do you want from me? I don't know how to talk. But Netherlands and Qatar, is that how you say it? Today is it? Yeah. So the Dutch are probably going to blow out the home squad if they're. I mean, it doesn't feel very. Is there really a home squad? But anyways, Qatar. And then there's a couple of games that I'm betting heavily on it. Now, not that Luca would. Luca, you stay away from the gambling, right? This is not what you do because I think it's a bad choice for you to do these things.
Yeah, no, not for me.
No, maybe a Zio, maybe every once in a while putting some stuff down on the Azzurri. No Italy, no Italy in the World Cup again. That's going to be terrible for you.
Yeah, no this year, but I mean, I'm also Portuguese, so I get to cheer for Portugal.
Oh, well, hey, great to have you on the show once again. As I said, it's Tuesday where we get to talk to all your guys, and it's always a pleasure because you have a lot of great characters, on that team and character guys. Anytime Chucky comes on, Charlie's great because. As I tell you, I mean, you're used to it, but like he has his own language. Like once he starts talking, I'm not sure what it is, but
I mean, yeah, once he starts going, then you can't get him to stop. So he's a character.
Well, this year I'm looking at what is interesting because of the moving pieces that you find in junior hockey. And at one point you were one of the young guys. You were one of the new ones, and guys were mentoring you for your first year. Who was it? Who was that you looked up to? Like, who was the guy who you remember from that period of time? What did they do for you? What did that particular individual, if there is one or maybe more, did for you?
There was two guys for me. One of them was Cole Schwinn. He was drafted by the Florida Panthers, and then the other one was Kean Washcrack. So for me, those two guys were our top two centermen at the time, and for me, I just kind of looked up to what they did for the Steelheads, and I just tried to model what they did, and they were very, very communicative to me and, helped a lot with my game and helped me to who I am today.
Well, and I think, in the cycle that this junior hockey is, because now you're that guy. So now you're the one. And the thing that I like in that mentorship that you seem to have the Steelheads, which comes from guys like Elliot and through obviously JR and Crackers and those guys, there's an expectation that you want to be that. It's not that it's put on your shoulders. It's that you want to be a leader.
Yeah.
Now, the season last year, and of course going through COVID and everything else, and then injuries last year where some young guys had to step it up. I would think that this is a very different year in that I think you guys were looking for success the moment you put the skates on. You weren't wondering who you're going to be. I think you knew already.
Yeah, this year, I mean, we have a really, really good team with a lot of good returning players. Couple NHL guys, which is always good, and it's good for the confidence. So yeah, we got a really good squad right now, and we're hoping that we can really make a run for it this year.
Now, when you look at how the season is progressing, I usually ask this of most of the guys that come on the show, because you always have a gauge of where you think you are. Like it's very rare someone's coming on and saying, no, we got this down. I mean, everything we do is perfect. There's really nothing to learn. I think in the season as it moves forward, what are the kinds of things that you still think the team needs to do?
I mean, if you look at recently, in our last 5, we were 1-5. I mean, but Sunday we won against Kingston. But you go through those little rough patches, and you see those little things that you need to work on. And I think just becoming together as a team and getting closer and getting tighter always helps. And having a tight dressing room and wanting to win for each other and stick up for each other is a huge thing. And, you learn those things in bits and pieces as you go. So I think, all working that together is going to help us a lot.
Now, do you like special teams, for instance? Like sometimes I find that, you're always kind of, even from a coaching perspective, you tinker a little bit, right? You always try to, you're trying to work that thing out. What's your feeling on special teams, especially the power play?
Yeah, I mean, those things you need to work on in practice. And, we try to change things a lot and try to, do different things. And, like I said, I think it just comes from practice and working on those things. And once you get that down and the players start clicking together, then you'll have success.
Now, when you start talking about clicking together, if you're being specific, what players do you think for yourself when you're in that scenario? Who do you like? Who do you like seeing? Like what has worked for you?
For me, I mean, on the power play, I mean, myself, Owen Beck, and James Hardy. I think we've created some sort of chemistry on the power play. We've had a couple of good power play goals together. So I know it's obviously still kind of early and starting to get later, but we still have that some sort of chemistry we're building and being able to score some goals on the power play.
Now, even though it's a team game, often coaches are going to tell you, and I believe in it, is you have to make plays. Like you have to, even within the role that you're playing, you got to make plays. And for you, what are the kinds of things this year? I mean, it's great, property of the Blue Jackets, and it's, must be amazing for you, your family, and so on. But do you kind of put it aside and work on what you need to do for the team currently here in Mississauga? Like what are those kinds of things that you think that if you're looking at yourself as a third person looking down, what does Luca need to do this year?
Yeah, I think just for being like not trying to get in my own head about being drafted, just trying to put my head down and work hard defensively and work hard in both zones. For me, I like to try to slow the play down and make smart plays, and that's just what I try to do. So.
Well, I see there was yet another circus game with Peterborough. What is it with that team? Every time I see Peterborough on the schedule, especially if it's there, they're always weird. This was another weird game. I can never predict what happens with the Petes. Why does it happen between you and those guys? Because I'm sure the whole team is irritated by Peterborough, as I am, and they always seem to be that way.
Yeah, they got a good hockey team, but so do we, and we just try to battle our hearts out and try to give it all we can. And, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but sometimes you got to regroup and, get them next time.
Yeah, you're being very politically correct because most of the guys come on and go, I hate that team. I can't stand that team. They're a bunch of jerks. Well, and it's also, I mean, when you had to deal with the Bulldogs last year in the playoffs, I mean, I think that, that's a tough series just because of how good they were. And I think now that as I said, the pendulum has swung a little bit. Now you have a lot of these NHL guys. So you're kind of sitting in that place too. So, looking at, and playoffs are a long way away, but you must have a sense of confidence because of that.
Yeah, we do, definitely. Like I said earlier, like having NHL guys is, really helps the team and helps the group. Even the young guys, like for them being able to ask questions and come to us and, just look up to us and, yeah, they're very communicative and they ask a lot of questions. So it's good.
Well, what do you think is the hardest thing for young guys when they come in? And even going back to when you're first going from, like major midget and the way that you would have played on one of those teams. Now all of a sudden you're in the O. What do you think is always the biggest adjustment at that age, at that point in your career?
I think honestly, you just got to be confident when you come in. I think a lot of guys come in and they're really shy and really to themselves. And I think you just need to open up and, be talkative. We're like, guys like myself, like I'm here to help you. I'm going to help you. I want to see you succeed. So I think just coming in and being confident and, wanting to ask questions and wanting to get better. I think that's the biggest thing.
And when you were that age, what was like being on the ice? What player was it that you look across from or look at and go, oh man, this is, I'm in it now. Cause I this guy's unbelievable. Who would that player be for you that it was really jolting when you first see him?
Well, for me on my own team, it was like I said earlier, it was Cole Schwint. He was a really like dynamic two-way centerman and someone who I looked up to, and I wanted to play exactly like him. So I learned a lot from him, and the coaches helped me a lot into achieving that type of game. So yeah, what
about not on your team? Who did you go up against and you had to shake your head a little bit going, wow.
there was a couple players. I mean, Jack Quinn, Marco Rossi, even Nick Robertson. That was the year he scored 50 goals, and those guys were really, really good players. So I would say them.
Well, there's also a lot of talk, and it gets controversial with your teammates when we start talking about ping pong. And so, yeah, look, I'm telling you, it gets heated and weird, and then someone said, well, you know what Luca does in his spare time? I'm like, what? He watches ping pong videos.
Yeah, that's not true. Who said that?
They all say it. All of them.
No.
So we can verify for fact right here on the show live that Luca Del Belluz does not watch ping pong videos.
No, I do not watch ping pong videos.
Yeah, it's turned into like a Trump thing all of a sudden. Absolute lie. Never done it. Never done it. Now, how is the ping pong game? Are we putting ourselves as the top ping pong man in the Steelhead camp?
No, I'm not the top ping pong man, but right now I am ranked second. But the best ping pong guy is Casper Larson, but he's Euro, so it's expected. So
yeah, they're supposed to be good at ping pong.
He's unreal. I mean, I've beat him a couple times, but yeah, I mean, I played him in a game last week, and I was winning 18-8, and he came back and beat me 21-19. So
oh no,
yeah, he's really good, but yeah.
Now, does that affect playing the ice? So maybe it goes behind the net and you're supposed to be in a certain place. You're like, yeah, maybe I'm not skating so fast. And think about it next time.
No, it doesn't affect anything like that.
Now, the family still in Vaughan, still in Woodbridge?
Yeah.
I'm guessing the most part, which is great for you being in Mississauga because you're not that far away.
Yeah, no, it's like 20 minutes to the rink, and
yeah,
not bad at all.
Now, what do they think about, the selection, Columbus, and obviously they're very happy for you, and there was obviously a goal when you started playing. Do you have those kinds of conversations with family, like what it's going to be like when eventually you're in Ohio, when you're not close? What would that be like for the family, for the Blues themselves, the Blues? What is that like?
Honestly, we haven't talked about it much yet, but I'm sure like once I start playing in Cleveland or whatever it is, they're gonna start driving down and watching hockey games. But honestly, we really haven't had that conversation, and but that's what I expect from my parents. And my dad loves watching me play, so I'm sure he'll be making the drives down or flying down, whatever it is.
Now, do you have the big extended family? Like, do you have Nono and Nona and the whole thing? Like, how big is that family in Woodbridge?
I do have a really big family, big family, mostly on my mom's side, but yeah, there's a lot of them.
And how Italian are we making the sozic in the downstairs kitchen, the sugo downstairs kitchen, everything like that?
Honestly, the bigger part of my family is the Portuguese side, which is my mom's side. So it's not even that Italian, but my dad and his sister, that side of the family is Italian. That's where you start making everything.
So there's a lot of Ronaldo talk, I'm guessing, in this family.
There is a lot.
Now, did he score or not score on that header yesterday?
No.
But we have some hardcore Portuguese, including Nelson, who's listening right now. And I'm like, he didn't get it. I know he wanted to.
Didn't.
No. Now, do you like Ronaldo, or is he? Because look, it's a love-hate thing when you start talking about Ronaldo and what happened, with club teams and everything else. Where does the family stand on Ronaldo? Is it a yay or a nay?
We all love them. We all love him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great player. I mean, there's some of them that are like saying like it's time to retire, it's time to go, let the new guys step in. But I like watching him play. I enjoy watching him, and he's obviously a hell of a soccer player. So,
are you the Ronaldo of the Steelheads? Would you say that?
I can't say I'm the Ronaldo of the Steelheads.
Yes, I will. I am going to say that you're the Ronaldo of the Steelheads. Just so you know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Coming up this week, let's see. We've got Hamilton, and we got the 3-3. We got Erie and London. So this is like is this the third 3-3 that you guys have had? It seems like you've done it about every other week. You got a 3-3.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It might be the third or fourth, something like that. We've had a lot. I mean, considering last year we didn't have that many. So this year we've had quite a few to start.
Now, I would think this is, maybe now that it's happened so often, but the young guys probably trying to get used to that 3-3. Like it's a big deal when you're not used to it. Yeah,
it's very different. I mean, three long periods of 20-minute hockey. It's a long game, and having to do that 3 times is can get very tiring. So,
well, we wish you the best of luck. As I said, I like how the season is going because and with JR, he's always going to give you as much as you need to know at that time. Once that's consumed, you're going to get something else, but he never piles everything on top of guys where the task seems to be too big. And I think I look at this season, and I think where you're going to end up, I think you're probably going to like it because I know there's a real confidence, and as you've always mentioned, a closeness to your team. So I look forward to the rest of the season, and I hope the familia is happy, even though there is no Azuri, the Portuguese are looking like they're pretty good, because this World Cup is wide open, by the way. Like anybody
Yeah.
can win this one. This is very wide open. So nothing about happiness for your family. Thanks so much, Luca. Always great to see you. The best of luck, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And does not watch the ping pong video. So could you please, everyone, please stop making up these lies. They're so jealous. They're so jealous of Luca, the Ronaldo of the Steelheads. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. That is Luca Del Belluz joining us here this morning on Meet the Steelheads that we do each and every Tuesday. It's 8